Jamie here, keeping it coy. Welcome back to the channel, and if you're new, welcome. Hope to earn your subscription today. So as you all saw from my last video, I put the liner in, put the underlay in, sorry, and today we are fitting the liner, getting the bottom drain done. I'm going to try and show you that in as much detail as physically possible, and then get some water in. So I will take you outside and show you what we're doing. Hey guys, so today it's a lovely again sunny day. We didn't have any rain last night, so we're good to go. Gonna get the liner in today. That's that there. Got to get it in there. It's extremely heavy, as you'll know. My pond's about 3.4 meters by 2.4 meters outside measurements, give or take. So yeah, gonna get the liner in there, pick you up, all looking good. Had no collapses behind the filter floss last night, so we're all good to go. Filter floss is very damp, so I'm guessing it was a bit of a damp night. Still got a tiny bit of water left in the bottom drain, but I'm not going to get the vacuum to vac that out. There's none in the pipe now, so it's just literally like a few mil in the bottom of the bottom drain. That'll be fine. So yeah, I'm going to try and lift that in there. I'm guessing the arrows mean that's the way it rolls out, possibly, don't know, but yeah, I'm gonna get that in there and then see how we go. Snap back to you in a second. So the liner's in and unravelled, so, or unwrapped should I say. It's not unravelled, that's the next job, but it was all wrapped in again another decent heavy duty underlay. So I've decided to put another layer, which is actually double folded on that section because that one was wider, on the top step here. Just needs a bit of flattening out, but yeah, that'll give it five sheets of underlay on the corner of the step there. So anyone that was saying to put some carpet or the old pond liner on here, I think 4 layers of underlay, a bit more expensive than leftover underlay or liner, but will work a treat. So a bit of free underlay come with a liner, jobs are good. And I'm going to unravel this now. It is marked out, I can see it says bottom on there, so, or base, so they've marked it all out for me, so hopefully I can get this unravelled quite neatly. I'm going to take these last two supports out and try and get it in some kind of position. So I'll snap back to you when we're in. Well, that is blooming typical, isn't it? You start and rolled it all the way out along that way to find out the whole thing needs turning round because the step is currently on that side and I need it to be on this side. Typical. So we'll spin it around and we'll try again. Back walls up. Here's a quick tip though. If you've gone for a box weld liner and you've got a blooming big pond, get a friend, get 2 people. It weighs an absolute ton, and trying to get it to hold in one spot while you're then working the next spot is, as you can probably tell, that I'm out of breath. Blimmin' hard work. I've now got to somehow work out how I'm going to get the rest of it up, but I'll get there. I'll snap back to you when I've done the next bit. Well, it's not pretty and it's not perfect, but it's in. Still out of breath. Got a few more wrinkles to try and work out. I knew it was going to be difficult for them to manufacture a box weld liner with a step. That's probably why they charged me 2.5 times what it would have done if this little step weren't there. If that was just a flat base up there, it would have cost me about 500 quid less. Well, 470 I think, so nearly 500 quid less. But yeah, so we're in at least. Obviously it's not perfect fit, I ain't gonna lie. It's a bit big in some places and a tiny bit small in others. That corner join there only just touches the step if I proper stretch it, so that'll be fine. Once the water starts going in, I can stretch that over. Same with that one in that corner over there, so that's a really tight fit. But once that's pulled over, this area then is really baggy. The floor base down there as well, that's right tucked up into that corner. As you can see, that wall's quite baggy, and this step wall here is very baggy. So I'll keep tinkering around with it and get it as best as it can possibly be. But on a plus note, it's whatever it looks like in the end. Sorry about the sun. Yeah, whatever it looks like in the end, it's still going to look better than a bog standard liner trying to fold that around these steps. One little thing that has annoyed me, I hope that washes off. Everywhere else where they've written measurements and everything, there's another one there, but those two. Everywhere else, right, the writing for that one is on the underside, the writing for all the walls is on the other side. But this one is in the pond, so I hope that washes off, and that one. But I'll give them a scrub later on. I'm not in no rush to see if that comes off. Not worried about any of the footprints, they're not mine. I got my Calvin Kleins on. But yeah, they're not mine, the footprints. There's one down there, but just be from where they made it in the factory or wherever they make it. But yeah, it's in. Hard work on you, Todd. As I say, if you've got a friend, this is the day where you would want to give them a call. I'll remember that for next time. But yeah, we're in, so I'm going to try and neaten out this bit as best I can and try and get the bottom drain ring in ASAP. That way by this afternoon, I'll say this afternoon, flipping out, it's 11:15 already. But yeah, by this afternoon anyway, that would have cured, and I can start putting some water in before nightfall to give that wall a bit of stability. So right, I'll snap back to you later. Right guys, so just need to, as I said a minute ago, just need to neaten up the bottom there. I just thought I'd get prepped for everything I'm going to need to put the bottom drain flange on, which is down there. Got some kitchen roll, an old tea towel that I use for ponds and fish tank anyway, and a blue rag that I've been using on the pond build. I've got some wet wipes and some vinyl gloves, because CT1, get it on your hands and it's a nightmare. I've got the screws sat in there. I'm not fitting that obviously right now, but I've got the screws are sat in the lid there to connect the flange. I've got my CT1, my screwdriver, 2 different knives depending on which one works best, pliers to snip the top on that, or the knife again, whichever works better, and me electric screwdriver just to start the screws off. Do not use one of them to put them all the way down. If you go in too hard, too fast, you can snap the plastic and squeeze out too much of the silicone. The idea of using silicone in a case like this is to leave a bond between the 2 plastics. If you squeeze it all out, like completely nothing left inside, and it's all round the edge, well then you've got no seal. So you want, don't have to be massive, just a couple of a mil or 2 of CT1 in between the 2 plastics, and that's what creates the seal when cured. Right, so I'll snap back to you in a second when I've neatened up the bottom and I'm starting on the bottom drain. Right guys, that's as neat as I'm going to get it, considering how baggy it is at the minute. Hopefully when I start filling it with water I can get in there and flatten it out even more. The bottom drain is about here, where that big crease is, but that's easily flattened out. One other tool that comes in really handy for a job like this, I use it all the time in my trade as a handyman. I can't remember what it's called, but I'll show you it anyway. You can get it from any hardware or DIY store. It's always great to have one in your toolbox. Is one of these, if it will focus. It's not a screwdriver, it's just a sharp, it's not going to focus up there. Let's try it on there you go. Yeah, it's just a sharp thin pointy stick. As you can see, my point's very well worn, but the reason I keep this in my toolbox is when I'm trying to hang cabinets and everything on a wall, say, sometimes the little hole in the cabinet, you know, if it's got quite a thick back or whatever, and you're holding the cabinet up to the wall or shelf or anything, sometimes the hole is too small to fit a pencil through there. So what I do, I use that, give it a tiny little tap with a hammer, or if it's a nice soft plastered wall, just push it in a tiny bit, and that leaves you a nice little dot in the wall, and it's then a good little dot to rest your drill bit on when you're drilling. You don't get any slidage on your drill then. But what I'm going to use it for today is to match up the holes on the flange through into the liner. So I'll find the holes in the bottom drain, poke all the holes through the liner, and then I can match it up on the flange. Just be careful if you are using one of these in your pond. Do not drop it in your pond, because I mean, mine's not as sharp as it used to be, but they are sharp, especially when you first buy them. So I'm going to try and climb back in there again without tripping over. Got my slippers on out here because I'm not wearing shoes in the liner, because the floor everywhere out here is all dusty and dirty, and I don't want to keep treading dust and dirt in the pond. So I'll climb in there, and when I'm all set up ready to go, I'll snap back to you. Catch you in a bizzle. So here we are. Here's the bottom drain. As you can see, that all flattens out quite nicely. So it's just a case now of finding my holes and working round. So there's definitely one there. I can fill that one. There's one here, which means there should be one in between. Can't find that one. There's another one there. This one. He says that's a tough old liner. Should have sharpened this really. Okay, that's not going to work as planned. Need to sharpen my point. There we go. Obviously not over the hole. I found that one. Okay, what's going on there? There's me all there. There we go. Alright, there's one. Make sure it's nice and taut. Be handy if I could find at least another one. Opposite sides, that's handy.
2 holes. Yep, lovely. So what I'm going to do, just to make it easier on myself, if I can do it, I'm going to just loosely screw this on, if I can, he says. Should hopefully then, as they're now in place, line up all the other holes. Yeah. Lovely jubbly. Oh, we're going good now. That's the liner pierced. Now before I screw it down, obviously I need to put CT1 under the liner, not under this, under the liner. So for that I now have to cut a hole. Let's give this one a go first. I hate doing this bit. Not that I've ever done this before, because I've never fitted a bottom drain before. But when you're cutting a hole in something that's supposed to be waterproof, always worrying. At least my knife's pretty sharp. It's always a bonus. It says. Voila. Go that way. Go that way. There we go. So I now know all my holes are lined up and everything. A bit of dust and dirt falling in there, the odd hair, but meh, nothing to worry about. Right, so I need to get this off, check the underneath, give it a wipe, and then try and get some CT1 in it. That screws back out. To be honest, it's looking pretty clean. I don't think I'm going to need a wet wipe. Just give it a bit of dust. CT1. Actually, I'm going to have to snap back to you in a second, because although I've got my CT1 ready, I've not got my glue gun ready. So I'll snap back to you in a second. Sorry guys, just realised I'm talking to myself and I hadn't hit record, but the CT1 is all now in, and really good bead of that all the way around. I have put a tiny bead as well under the flange, just to make sure that the screw holes don't leak. I'm just now trying to find all the blimmin' screw holes again. I'm doing well so far. But yeah, that's why you wear gloves, because no matter how careful you are, it gets everywhere. Eee. The CT1 is blimmin' sticky stuff. that's all holes found. Down there for a second. Right, now I would not recommend doing this unless you are very confident with an electric screwdriver or drill. I use one obviously every day at work as a handyman, so all you've got to do is just keep going around, just tightening each one the way I'm doing it. I've seen a few other people's videos and whatnot, but as soon as I see the flange starting to move down, I don't know whether you can see it on the video there, but then I'll move on to the next one. Start there. There's my first bead of silicone. Now, although I am very confident with an electric screwdriver, just to be safe and sure, I am going to finish it off by hand so I can feel how much of a gap, if any, there is underneath the liner. It's down all the way. A little bit more. I'm really hoping that was an air bubble. Don't know whether you guys heard that. It blooming better have been an air bubble. But I think there's enough CT1 in there not to worry too much. But yeah, so that's all that bit done. I don't know if you can quite see under there, but there's a nice big ooze of CT1 under there, so I'm just going to run my finger all the way around, feel what gap I've got. Could probably do with coming down a bit more on this side. It says, could be a bit of CT1 now, aren't I? As you can see by what I'm pulling out, there was a nice bead in there. And there's still plenty more to come out, but sort that out once it's cured a bit. Right. Now it's a waiting game really. I'm going to let that cure for a little while and cut these out. It's not going to look neat and it's not going to look pretty, but the idea is for it to work. And as long as it works, I'm really not too fussed what it looks like, because you're never going to see this bit with the air dome on top. Nice good seal on that side. Not that you need to do it on this side, but meh. I've got 12 tubes of CT1. What's the harm in it? Just make sure if you do end up trying and doing what I'm currently doing, try not to leave any lips of silicone at the top edge here, because if you leave silicone up here, it will affect the water and muck going in. Right, that's pretty much that. Just get rid of them bit blobs. That was silly. Can't turn the camera off just yet because I'm covered in silicone. So right, I'll snap back to you. Right, guys, so here we are down in the depths of the pond. It's starting to cure now. I have to just double check when I was cutting all this off, it is all greatly sealed around, but I've just gently ran my finger around it one more time just before it sets. But yeah, you can see by the outside, look, that's all set. Where's my finger gone? There, nothing on the finger. So yeah, the outside is all cured. The inside had started to cure, but obviously I've cut the liner away and re-smoothed it out, so that's good. Bit odd on this ring though, it fits completely flush with the drain on that side, and then there's like a good lip of an overhang on that side. I don't know whether the ring was supposed to be a certain way round, but I can't honestly see how that would have made a difference. But meh, it's all sealed, it's all good. Next job, cut this down to the right size. So I've screwed it on, all nice and tight. So we just now need to work out the height on that. It's still a bit wet, the silicone where I've re-smoothed it out, so I'm going to give it another half hour to get a skin on it, that way I won't get silicone all over the place. Good old CT1. Yeah, so I'll snap back to you once I've measured and cut this. So there we go, cut to size. Got about 20mm gap there, as they show you on all the other videos. I can just get past my knuckles up to about here on my fingers, but I don't want to disturb the CT1 while it's still setting. So yeah, got a good gap all the way around there. Can I get low enough? Nearly. So yeah, that's good. Just got to get that glued in place now. Probably give it another hour or so, and then I can start putting some water in here before we pack away for the night. But you can see why I wanted a pond skimmer in here. Look, not been in here, it's only been down a couple of hours. Look, and I've already got bits of seeds and leaves falling in here. But out the front, these are from silver birch tree, I think, and out the front we've got about 20 of them. And when the wind blows, obviously it goes all up on the roof, and then when it blows again it falls all on my pergola, and then when it blows again they fall all in the pond. So I get them from that way, and then at the back, if I don't blind you with the sun, I'll try not to, got these massive trees here, are them maple trees with the helicopter seeds, and God knows how, but we find them next to the back door, so they fall from there all the way down, and like they
if they leave the back door open, sometimes you find them inside, and it's not that I've carried them in, or the dog, or Emma. They're just literally blowing. But yeah, I'm going to get this glued in now. Go find the old solvent weld, get that in, and then that is job done. Can start tidying up, and then in another hour or two I'll start slowly adding some water and stretching out the liner at the bottom. Catch you later. Right guys, we're all glued in. You won't see me filling it on this video, that'll be on the next one. But just to show you, look, if I can zoom in a bit, keep your eye on the old bottom drain, turn the camera. I'm still using my air pump on the vat, so I can't attach the air pump to it, but I can blow through it. And hopefully you guys saw it there all rise up. So that's working good. I've already double checked and I could see it rise, so hopefully that's come out on the video. So yeah, I'll nip inside and snap back to you in a second. So then guys, that's another day done. The liner's in, fantastic. Bottom drain is in. Sorry I lost a bit of footage there of me putting the CT1 in the bottom drain. But yeah, I swear I hit record, but obviously I had gloves on, so maybe it didn't work. So apologies for that. But yeah, liner's in, bottom drain's in, and water's in. But with the footage I've got of the water, that would have made this video way too long, and nobody wants to be bored. So will save me fixing the liner and getting rid of all the wrinkles for the next one. So again, thanks for watching. I hope you've earned your subscription today, and we'll catch you all on the next one.